Hi, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield rumor discussion video. Not leaks, by the way. These are rumors. They could completely be false, and yeah, they most likely are. Let's be real. But I wanted to talk about this because I think it's really interesting what has been rumored. And it's not from 4chan for a change, you know? Obviously, because it's hype season, there's a lot of fake stuff going around, and most of it just gets dumped onto 4chan. This stuff isn't from 4chan, and I'm not saying that gives it credibility, but I figured I would just point that out. I can't quite find the exact location of the forum or the post, but apparently this rumor came from Reset Era. That's what I've been told, at least, and it was in this form. What is on your screen right now is what we were given. This is some Chinese text, and of course we've got a translation. The user on Twitter of Fake Slurpuff actually gave out a translation as to what all this is. And like I said, I'm not saying any of this is real. Definitely take this as a pinch of salt. The main reason why I'm talking about it is because I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you like the sound of this? Do you think it's real? Would you want it to be real? Would you want it to be fake? What do you want from, you know, let's just talk about it. So the translation from Fake Slurpuff of this post is apparently the 3 starter final evolutions are pure fire, pure water, and pure grass. Now, when I first read that, my heart was a little broken because I don't want them to just be pure fire, water, and grass. I want more. You know, I love it when starters have dual types. You know, the Johto starters, the thing that lack the Johto starters so much is the fact that they are singular type. You know, if Feraligatr was part dark type or something, Typhlosion was part ground, and Meganium was part fairy, it'd be much cooler, much stronger. And I don't know, I think all starters should have dual typings by final evolutions. Maybe that's just me, but yeah. So if this does be the case, I guess if this is the case, breaks my heart a little bit, but when combined with the new Spirit Armor, they will become Grass Fairy, Grass Fighting, no, Fire Fighting, and Water Ghost. Okay, I didn't actually read that properly. So another Fire Fighting type, who'da thunk it? But Grass Fairy, Fire Fighting, and Water Ghost. That's gonna make a lot of people mad. It's gonna make a lot of people mad. But I guess the Pokemon by itself isn't a firefighting type, so it's okay, right, guys? So yeah, apparently the new, from this rumor, the new, I guess, gimmick of this generation, you know, Generation 6 we had Mega Evolution, Generation 7 we had Z-moves. Apparently Generation 8, rumored, is to be Spirit Armor. Now that's something that's actually been rumored for a while now, the whole armor thing. There has never been an official name for it though. We've never officially called it Spirit Armor. A lot of the names that were going around was Armored Evolution, but Spirit Armor. And to me, that sounds realistic. You know, the name sounds realistic. It sounds like Pokemon, something Pokemon would do. I guess my only gripe with it is that, you know how in like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, X and Y, whatever the gimmick of that game is, the Japanese logo includes it somewhere. So of course the Japanese Sword and Shield logo has that little 3, the Pokeball, the red and blue Pokeball with the, it looks like it would be a rotation battle type thing. That doesn't look anything like Spirit Armor. I mean, I guess thinking about it, you know, spirits are usually kind of like, I don't know, I guess I could kind of see the whole spirit thing, but like there's nothing to do with armor in that logo, I guess, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. So yeah, apparently with this new Spirit Armor thing, the final evolutions would become Grass Fairy, Firefighting, Water Ghost, and then we move on to see the new Spirit Armor system is like inspiriting a Pokemon's move. Each Pokemon can inspirit one move. Having different armors can have different effects. The armor doesn't occupy the battle item slot, but will occupy a new armor slot. Some older items will have new armor effect. The Never Melt Ice will make moves have a 10% chance to freeze. There's a Fire Necklace item that causes moves to become fire type. And special armor can make Pokemon change forms, such as starters, Mewtwo, and Meltan. There's only one box legendary, a wolf, but it changes to either a shield form or a sword form, depending on the armor it gets. They have different types of moves. The form can be changed by transferring it to another version. The sword form is a Dragon Steel and the shield form is an Ice Steel. The box legendary cannot enter battle if it doesn't have an armor. A lot of characters from Kalos will return. Galar is close to Kalos in geography, but you cannot go to Kalos in these games. So I believe that's everything we've got. And to be honest, there's quite a lot here, I guess, for us to dissect. So the first thing is the new spirit armor. I guess that's the new gimmick. That's the new Z move, the new mega evolution, whatever. My issue with that is, okay, I guess. So to me, all of this sounds like something Pokemon would do. There's only one box legendary, but obviously they need to sell 2 different versions of the game. So depending on what type of armor they're holding, they've got a different form. And that makes sense to me because they never, ever, ever have put like a Pokemon in the logo. But of course, in Sword and Shield logo, there is a wolf, and it's on both Sword and Shield version. And you know, I don't think Pokemon are silly enough to make, I guess, 2 different I guess wolf Pokemon. I don't know, because every single, I guess, box legendary is unique. You know, the only legendary Pokemon that share similarities are the trios. You know, the Tapu Kokos, you got your Uxie's and Mespits and Azelfs, you got your Reggies, we've got Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus. We got those guys, but you know, Kyogre and Groudon and Rayquaza, they're all completely different. Dialga, Palkia, completely different. So to me, it doesn't make sense for them to have a wolf in the logo unless that's the main, I guess, the main legendary. And why would they do 2 wolf legendaries like that? I think that would, unless they look very different, that would upset a lot of people. So this to me makes sense that there is only 1 box legendary, you know, and it changes forms depending. That to me sounds realistic. It makes sense. I'm not saying it is. I just personally think I could see that happening. And of course, it can't enter battle unless it has an armor item. That also seems very Pokemon. The main thing I want to talk about, I spoke to my friend Jamie Keane about this. You know, before we get too ahead of ourselves and be like, this is real, this is real, this is real, this is the new leak, this is the new rumor. The Nevermelt Ice having a 10% chance to freeze, that is broken. Like, that is game breaking. Having a 10% chance to freeze, that's just that's gonna turn VGC on its head. And unless they completely rework how freeze itself works, you know, because the way freeze works right now, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe every turn you have a 50% chance of thawing or something along those lines, and if you use a fire type move it thaws or something. Unless they completely rework freeze to where freeze is nowhere near as broken, because a lot of VGC player or a lot of Pokemon players' complaints in general with freeze is that freeze is busted. Having Nevermelt Ice make moves have a 10% chance to freeze, that is insane, right? So unless they make freeze to where, you know, I guess the freeze status is completely isn't worth it, that I think that's going to turn Pokemon on its head, make it never be able to be a competitive game. And I mean, it's something I could definitely see them doing, but it's not going to be good for, I guess, the battling side of Pokemon. Of course, all this armor stuff started coming out. All these armor rumors came out after all the, I guess, the copyright stuff on our Armor Mewtwo, like Armor Mewtwo stuff relating to merchandise and movies or whatever. You know, Pokemon put out a bunch of trademarks for Armored Mewtwo. So I guess all the Armor Evolution rumors came out after that. And, you know, this could just be another one of those. But Pokemon Go has also added Armored Mewtwo to its data, or added Mewtwo armor to its data. Just so you guys don't think I'm just making up a load of stuff. This is Chirales. He is a Pokemon Go data miner, and everything he puts out is fact. It's basically like, this is what's in the game's file. And new Mewtwo forms: Mewtwo A Intro, Mewtwo Normal. So it looks like an armored Mewtwo is going to be included in Pokemon Go. So that just leads me to believe that that's going to, of course, connect to the main games. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. How Pokemon Go handles its stuff is obviously different to how main series games, like the way it handles forms especially, is completely different. Like the way they handle cast form is that they count it as like a completely different Pokemon, you know, for each of its forms. You know, you can't change cast form's form once you've caught it. Same with Deoxys and all the same with Giratina. You know, how they handle forms is weird. So this could be just something exclusive to Pokemon Go for all we know, but I think there's a good chance that Armored Mewtwo could definitely be in Sword and Shield. It's just my opinion. It just makes sense given the name of the game, Pokemon Sword and Shield. And also the reason why I think a lot of this makes sense is because the way Pokemon have been handling their games over the past few years, they've always had some kind of gimmick. We had Z moves, we had Mega Evolutions, we had Primal forms, we've always had some sort of gimmick, and it just makes sense to me that they'll bring out another gimmick like that. So to me, this sounds really convincing. This is the reason why I'm making a video on it, is because I'm not trying to, I just want to share this possibility with you guys. I want to hear your thoughts. The main thing that's, I guess, a big downer is the never melt ice thing, a 10% chance to freeze, unless they rework freeze. That's busted. And of course the fire necklace item, apparently that causes moves to become fire type. Is that just any move? Is that normal type moves? Like what's that all about? To be honest, we've a lot of us have been assuming that Meltan and Melmetal are going to have a big part in this game. Meltan getting its own, you know, armored form or whatever makes sense. And yeah, I think the thing that convinces me the most is the wolf thing. There only being one actual wolf Pokemon, but of course, depending on which game you have, he's either a sword wolf or a shield wolf. A lot of what like Loxton, the YouTuber Loxton Noggin, whatever, a lot of what he's been thinking is that there's going to be like a man-made Pokemon versus like a natural Pokemon, and that's going to be like the sword and shield, you know, the clash. But this works too. To me, it just doesn't make sense to have two separate wolf Pokemon, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. It just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right that there's going to be that there would be two box wolf Pokemon. Like, they've always done different, I guess. You know, they did a bat and a lion. They've done a bird and a deer. I guess Zekrom and Reshiram are technically the same. They're both dragons, but then they came from one dragon, so that's why they're the same. You know, I don't know. Dragons are easy to make different though. I don't know how you could make a wolf, I guess, different from each other, different enough to give them their own two separate games. I think I'm rambling a bit too much now, but I'm gonna go ahead and link everything you guys need in the description. Please let me know what you think of all of this stuff. I'm intrigued, and I don't know, I kind of hope it's real. And if it is real, I hope that they nerf freeze, because freeze will be busted otherwise. But yeah, I think, to me, it just sounds realistic. It sounds real. It doesn't sound like, I don't know, whoever, if it's fake and, you know, it's you know, we got a trailer confirming it's fake because they show off two wolves or whatever, then, you know, good job to whoever wrote this. You've convinced me, at least, I think. This sounds realistic, but of course I don't believe it until I see it. Anyways, rambling too much. Thanks so much for watching. Drop a like in the video if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time.